Chapter 5670. Jian Wushuang feels the same way. His divine body was smashed out by treasures. Although Guu time and space has a perfect divine body cultivation method, it is not much worse than the original cultivation method, and it is very difficult. Or treasures are promoted faster. Like Jian Wushuang, when he used Dongjun skeleton to raise the divine body, it has been raised tens of thousands of times in just a few hundred years. If in Guu time and space, it would take several epochs to cultivate the top-level divine body flow cultivation technique. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang's mouth raised. When he left the temple of Chishan, the true spirit gave him Dongjun skeleton. In these 10,000 years, his basic divine body has risen to more than 90,000 times, and is about to reach 100,000 times the emperor's consummation. In the temple of Chishan, the emperor was 80,000 times complete. But Guu time and space are different, because it is the reason of the divine power. The emperor can increase the divine power to 100,000 times, and achieve the tribulation realm with a perfect posture. Jian Wushuang is now very close to 100,000 times of supernatural power. Once the basic divine power reaches 100,000 times, he will use 3 times the power of the beast god. At that time, he can only use the divine power to give the power of the 3 tribulations realm. Dongkun skeleton, if it were not for the restriction of the true spirit, he would have liked to swallow it all. It's a pity, he is just an emperor now. The prohibition above requires him to reach 100,000 times before it can be unlocked. The true spirit was afraid that he would take the skeleton apart and sell it, so he put down the ban when he was worried. This can only be said that the opponent's pattern is small. In the temple of Chishan, the emperor's supernatural power reaches 80,000 times. Is different here, 100,000 times is not perfect, he has the bones of Dongjun, and can go farther. At that time, Dongjun's skeleton was torn down and devoured one by one. After became the tribulation realm, he didn't need to worry about improving his divine power. Just go to Guu time and space to pick up the treasures that enhance the origin. Divine power is the main force, and the source is supplemented. The treasures of the origin are naturally inferior to the treasures of divine power. But he is the main source, supplemented by divine power. Can make a formidable price difference. All the sacred treasures obtained at that time will be exchanged for the original treasures. The chance is right in front of you. Jian Wushuang's figure continued to shuttle, and he had entered Baihua Mountain. And the chance is indeed right in front of him. Being able to enter the ancient moon time and space is the greatest opportunity. After entering the first level, Jian Wushuang didn't stay much longer, hiding his figure and relying on the realm of space, and those flower monsters at the emperor level couldn't see him at all. It was easy to enter for the second time. Was also the second time, he met a lot of practitioners. Are just these practitioners who have been addicted to it. On the first 3 floors of Baihua Mountain, there are countless flower demon beauties, and these practitioners are already addicted to them. This is also the first 3 floors of Baihua Mountain, the most distinctive treasure. Jian Wushuang couldn't help sighing. Said that the beauty of the world is true, but it is also more like on the earth. Wiped out the heart of the strong. Here, you can't stay for a long time. Jian Wushuang increased his speed and passed directly through the first 3 floors to the 4th floor. After reaching the 4th floor, he calmed down a lot. There are almost no practitioners in sight, and the flower demon here is also bursting, far from the charming feeling of the first 3 floors. Jian Wushuang also saw the reason. These flower monsters devour the divine power in the practitioner's body and improve their strength. Is a shortcut, but it also has backlash. After became a robbery, his personality was also perverse and violent. Jian Wushuang is very interested in the devouring power in their bodies, and being able to swallow the divine power, this is very similar to him. He can also swallow it. At the beginning, he swallowed the opponent's divine body, and then transformed into divine power. Only later discovered that there would be a backlash in this, and never did it again. At most, after taking the opponent's divine body, it is refined into pure divine power and swallowed. Is just a bit troublesome, it is better to go directly to find the treasure of the gods and swallow it. Now that he saw these flower demon empresses, he started this attention again. I want to take the opportunity to study it. GUU time and space, but divine power dominates. If he can improve the backlash in the swallowing, the entire GUU time and space will become his back garden. It's a pity how simple it is. I really want to do that. I'm afraid he is walking the path of extinction. If the death of life swallows the power of life, it will achieve consummation. The entire time and space will be transformed into a reincarnation field. Achieve the reincarnation dojo of extinction. Although it is also an invincible road, Jian Wushuang's absolute road is not suitable for him. Even in the future, kill and die. Swallowed the power of death, and he would not use the power of reincarnation to achieve invincibility. Instead, continue to walk your own way. Origin time and space is the right way in the starry sky. Although GUU time and space are strong, it is also the root of divine power that can be taken. Break through 10,000 laws with one force. Although domineering, but too difficult. Assistant is okay. Time and space are the only ones. Is it more enjoyable to travel through time and space? And he is more suitable to take the time and space route because of the extreme way. After observing for a long time, Jian Wushuang could not understand the devouring power of these flower monsters. It's right to think about it, the original extinction, to open a new route. I don't know how long it took. How could he succeed so easily? Jian Wushuang, hidden on the 4th floor, transformed into a piece of rubble, hiding in a stream. Time is fast. 1 month, but a sigh. On this day, Jian Wushuang turned into a stone, following the stream, when he was about to go to the 5th floor, but he felt a wave of divine power. Yep. Is it the movement from the 5th floor? Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. Ukanshu. He didn't expect to be so lucky this time. There are people fighting on the 5th floor, which will help him attract a lot of flower monsters, and he can just take the opportunity to collect 100 flower vine. This is a great opportunity, he will naturally not let it go. Jian Wushuang turned into the main body directly, broke the space with his hand, and directly entered the 5th floor. The scene in front of me is full of flowers. Is exactly midnight. Is just a piece of peace. But the divine power fluctuates, but it is getting bigger and bigger. The breath of more than one person has at least 3 tribulation realms. Jian Wushuang did not dare to be careless. Nianli carefully explored, and began to search for 100 flower vine. Fortunately, the 5th floor is not big, his thought power can cover 1/10, and further expansion will risk exposure. Although Jian Wushuang is in a hurry, he has not messed up his position. It was just a stick of incense, and I found a piece of vines in the southeast direction. And it seems that there are 400 flower demon seeds above it. Is far beyond the average Baihua vine. It is rumored that on the 6th floor, there is 1,000 flower vines. I don't know if it is true or not. No one knows. At first, an unbeliever of the 5 Tribulations Realm Emperor went to check, but finally left in a dingy manner. This place is the flower demon's lair. If it is on the 6th floor, the 5 Tribulations Realm will not take advantage. Chan Huateng Jian Wushuang didn't dare to think more. He was very satisfied with the 400 flowered vine in front of him. This thing, if it is taken out. Birthday wishes to Mu Chen, more than enough. Chapter 5671. Jian Wushuang slowly touched it, and there were only 10-second tribulation flower monsters nearby, and none of the 3 tribulation flower monsters. It was a godsend opportunity. Took this vine, he could leave instantly. There are still 10 hours before the dinner arranged by Mu Chen. He has enough time. Baihua Mountain, the 5th floor. Young master, I have contained a large number of flower monsters, so I can do it. An old man in a green shirt, his supernatural power is extremely violent. One person dragged the flower demon at the level of several tribulation realms. Behind him there are 2 tribulation realm powerhouses. Their strength is not weak, at least they are all 3 tribulation realm powerhouses. Are just these 2-3 tribulation realm powerhouses, not the master of the universe. Is the strong man who disperses the robbery. Sanjie compared with the real tribulation realm, the difference is the dojo. Cut off his own way, and the universe of the dojo naturally collapsed. And the old man in the blue shirt is a real master of the universe, and his strength is several times stronger than those of the two dispersion realms. One person controls a large number of flower monsters. There are also several flower monsters in the three tribulations realm. In a hidden bush, a girl wearing a light blue skirt has sharp ears and a pair of bright green eyes, which looks very strange. After hearing the old man's voice transmission, the divine power in his body did not explode, but the speed was abnormally fast. A few of the three people who escaped from the siege of the flower demon went straight towards the 400 flower vines. It's just that she doesn't know yet. Someone has already made the first step. Yep. Jian Wushuang frowned slightly, feeling a very weak force approaching, without threat. But that kind of power is very special. He didn't dare to be careless. After carefully harvesting the vines, he disappeared and prepared to leave. Those flower monsters couldn't find him at all. However, after the Baiwei was stolen, many flower monsters turned their eyes and made sharp noises, which were extremely ear-piercing. Jian Wushuang's figure slowly appeared under the sound waves. Do they still have this ability? Jian Wushuang exclaimed. The rhythm is one, he learned about it in Maureen Mountain. At the moment when his figure was exposed, he was not disguising, and directly exploded with nearly 100,000 times the basic divine power, and left violently. The strange girl who rushed from below found that a mysterious powerhouse suddenly appeared. She was shocked, and then thought of the mystery. When she turned her head and looked at the vine, her face sank, her small mouth puffed up. Elder Feng, 100-flower vine was taken away by other strong people. You quickly go to the 4th floor and stop this person. The long-planned thing was taken away by others, and the girl was very angry. It's a pity that she is not yet in the robbery realm, otherwise she has to go up and slaughter the opponent. But the next moment, when he discovered that the mysterious power was fluctuating, a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. The supernatural power is less than 100,000 times, The girl leaped into the sky, her power exploded. Although she was not in the tribulation realm, she possessed more than 100,000 times the divine power. When she stood up and broke the strange treasure, her divine power could be increased to about 120,000. Jian Wushuang, who was about to leave just now, saw the girl who was in front of him, and was a little surprised that the other party, an emperor, could be so strong. Of course, it was just an exclamation. Should be the arrogant of a big family, otherwise he would not come to the 5th floor of Baihua Mountain. Presumably, the other party also came for 100-flower vine. Just got the treasure in his hand, wanting to take it away again, it's not that easy. Jian Wushuang proudly said indifferently, "Little girl, I advise you to get out. Now he has no time to conflict with these people. Take the chance of this lady and let me go, you are so bold." The girl akimbo her hips, staring at Jian Wushuang. She didn't mean to let go. Instead, she was ready to take Jian Wushuang. Although she is an emperor, her strength is comparable to that of an ordinary tribulation realm. In her opinion, Jian Wushuang is just a most common calamity realm, and his divine power has not reached 100,000 times. Is not her opponent at all. Jian Wushuang slowly raised his arm and clenched his fist slightly, only then did he understand. He is regarded as a soft persimmon. A little emperor, even if it can be comparable to the tribulation realm, it is not worth mentioning in front of him. Then do it. Jian Wushuang suddenly clenched his fist and yelled, his divine power suddenly skyrocketed. The powerful divine power, the airflow brought directly overturned countless vegetation around. The supernatural power has also risen from nearly 100,000 times to 130,000 in an instant. The quirky girl exclaimed, "You are small, but you didn't expect your divine power to be 130,000, but this strength is not enough." After finishing speaking, he dared to take the lead. Jian Wushuang didn't expect that the other party would be so confident. He had only 120,000 supernatural powers, but he dared to fight him. When the girl rushed in, Jian Wushuang's deity had already left, leaving only an afterimage. One shot was defeated, and the girl hurriedly turned her head, trying to find the whereabouts of Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang, an old fried dough stick with extremely rich combat experience, how could it be so simple? The moment the girl turned her head, he appeared on the other's head, crossed his hands and 10 fingers, and shot the girl down from the air with a heavy punch. Then, relying on a fast speed, he returned to the ground in an instant. Before the girl fell, the power of all things condensed with one hand was injected into the divine body, directly erupting a force of more than 150,000 times of divine power. This force formed a beam of light and rushed straight into the sky. That girl, even if she does not die, she will be seriously injured. The time for the fight was just an instant, and Jian Wushuang made it in one go. I told you to get out of here. Jian Wushuang shook his head and smiled bitterly. I thought that he had already solved the opponent, but when he just turned around to leave, he felt that there was a powerful force behind him that was rising. That power burst into fiery flames. Jian Wushuang raised his brows, and when he slowly turned his head, the fire light shone on half of his face. Behind him, a huge root of grass and trees appeared, and it was still rising. This scene instantly attracted the attention of those flower monsters. Was originally besieging the 3 robbery realm powerhouses, but now when they saw this scene, they all came crazy. And in this scene, even the flower demon on the 6th floor was alarmed. This. The old man in the green shirt changed his complexion drastically, and said tremblingly, "The young master opened the restriction, and quickly go to help, otherwise the power of backlash will swallow the young master. Manager, let's notify the palace first. In case of an accident, you and I can't afford it." The old man in the green shirt gritted his teeth. This time he ran out with the girl secretly. If he asks for help, he might also be punished. But if I don't ask for help now, I'm afraid it will be difficult to get out. When there are some accidents, they can't afford it. After hesitating for a while, the manager of Qingshan finally nodded in agreement. Passed the news here back to a certain palace in the Yu Kingdom, and then the 3 of them rushed in the direction of the girl's eruption. Please remember the domain name of the book's first publication. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5672. At this time Jian Wushuang realized that the flower monsters had surrounded him, and it was impossible to get out. And that mysterious girl suddenly broke out, "I am afraid it is anxious," and he can't get away even more. If he knew he had gone to find other Baihua vines. Encountered such a tricky thing now. It's not that he is afraid, but that it is troublesome. But this place is completely closed, which is good for him. He can boldly display his strength, and he is not afraid of being peeped. In the flames, the green aura on the girl's body turned into a fiery red. Her eyes were like bells, and she was angry all over. Behind her, there was a towering koala in the shape of a ball. "You angered me," the girl pointed out. Divine power exploded again, from 120,000 times, directly soaring to 150,000. Jian Wushuang shocked. 150,000 times the divine body has reached the level of the second tribulation realm. The opponent, an emperor, could be so powerful. With this strength, among the 10 people in the Temple of Forbidding God, I'm afraid that Hui Qing has the same combat power with him. Guu time and space, not losing is one of the 9 core long rivers. More domestically, if you encounter a Tianjiao, you will have such strength. Unfortunately, the other party made the wrong person. You, an emperor, can have such strength, very good, but unfortunately not enough. Jian Wushuang breathed out. This time he didn't plan to leave in a hurry. Anyway, there is still more than half a day to play with each other. After hearing Jian Wushuang's words, the girl's expression changed drastically, and she did not dare to say, "Can you see that I am the emperor?" Her status is extremely noble, she has the treasure of the family inheritance, and can conceal her realm. Back then, the ancestor said that unless she is a powerful person in the 5 tribulations realm, she can't see her realm at all. Could it be that the opponent was disguised by an old monster in the 5 tribulations realm? Thinking of this, the girl was a little scared. Jian Wushuang saw the other's expression and knew that he had said something wrong again. He is a practitioner of the origin of time and space, and he can see the realm of the opponent, which is very easy for him. Can be ancient moon time and space, but it is based on divine power. Ahum, the eye of this seat, looking at you as a little girl, can you still not see through? Jian Wushuang pretended to be profound. Also raised his eyes to look at the huge koala. The other party's body has an aura that exceeds 150,000 times of supernatural power. Is a difficult guy. And the flower demon has gathered. He wanted to leave this time, so he couldn't leave, he could only fight. Looking at the girl, Jen Wushuang was also a little at a loss when he didn't make a move. Both have scruples for each other. But those flower monsters have no scruples. Has come close. Jen Wushuang could only deal with those flower monsters first. Countless vines attacked, and Jen Wushuang instantly floated several starry sky sword auras. This power is completely different from the power of Guu time and space. When the girl felt that power, her eyebrows flashed, a terrifying power that oppressed her to make her dare not move. Also believes that Jen Wushuang is definitely an old monster from the bottom of my heart. Jen Wushuang did not know what the other party thought. Faced with so many flower monsters, Jen Wushuang could only use the starry sky sword intent to quickly clear it away. At the same time, he also started to walk towards the entrance of the 4th floor. The 3 Tribulation Realm powerhouses who came from a distance were relieved when they found that their young master was fine. "Miss, I have sent a message to the palace, and within an hour, there will be strong people coming," Qingshan Chief said respectfully. The girl put away the secret method of prohibition, and the koala slowly disappeared. No matter how many people are called, it is useless. The mysterious strong man should be an old monster in the 5 Tribulations. Hearing the 5 Tribulations realm, the 3 of them were all taken aback, and the cold sweat from their backs broke out. The Tribulation realm, 9 Tribulations. The first 3 Tribulations can only be regarded as the first entry, and only when the 3 Tribulations have mastered the cosmos, can they be regarded as the master of the universe and enter the ranks of the strong. Then there is the 4 Tribulations realm. The Calamity realm to this point is the most. It's not that easy to reach the 5 Tribulations realm. Innu country, and even the entire Gumu continent. 5 Tribulation realm powerhouses, almost all of them are influential figures. Because the master of the universe in the 6 Tribulations realm is almost never born, he is the leader of a party. The lord of the universe in the 5 Tribulations realm is the person who disturbs the situation of one party. As for the sabotage powerhouse, even the sabotage powerhouse in the 6 Tribulations realm is ultimately sabotage, without any improvement, and the strength is still declining. Can only fall asleep to maintain peak state. The more powerful the sabotage powerhouse, the greater the consumption. Like the 7-star sect Qingyun sect, there is a 7 Tribulation realm powerhouse, and he has existed for endless years. But in these endless years, a total of 3 awakened. Every time my strength drops a lot. There is generally nothing important, and it will not recover at all. There are only 8 calamities in the realm of scattered robbers, and you can't see it at all. The 8 Tribulations realm ancestor of the ancient wood sect has never appeared at all, and there are very few records. As for the Lord of the Universe in the 7 Tribulations realm, and even the Lord of the Universe in the 8 Tribulations realm, that would be even rarer. This kind of character is the real superpower in this time and space. There are some 8-star desolate 8-star sects, and there is no even the master of the universe in the 7 Tribulation realm. It is also precisely because of those who have scattered the robbery powerhouse, the 8-star sect, which exists almost eternally, and has never been destroyed. Guu time and space, 19 8-star sects, have all existed for endless years. No one knows how many scattered robbers are there in the 8-star Zhongmen. The 5 Tribulations realm, the other party may also be Sanjie. The Qingshan general manager comforted, even the Lord of the Universe in the 5 Tribulations realm, I have to give me more face. The girl shook her head unexpectedly and said, after all, she is a powerful person in the 5 Tribulations realm. It's better to not provoke or not to provoke. Then now. Let's go, just a piece of vines, even if it doesn't matter, I have other gifts to prepare. The girl completely gave up facing Jen Wushuang. And now Jen Wushuang slaughtered those flower monsters wantonly, she just took the opportunity to leave. The 3 Tribulation realm powerhouses also nodded one after another. Can walk is the best. Boom. For some reason, those flower monsters only besieged Jen Wushuang, and ignored the mysterious girl and the group. This makes Jen Wushuang particularly annoyed. Starry Sky Sword Intent, although he can use it at will, it's just the sword intent in the Starry Sky catalog. Even if the 5th floor is slaughtered, it doesn't matter. But he doesn't have that time now. Jen Wuxuang was also relieved to discover that the mysterious girl and the group had slipped away quietly. He was afraid that the other party would be anxious, and shot him. At that time, the enemy will be defeated. Forget it, let's improve your divine body. Jen Wuxuang gave a wry smile. S figure plunged into a black hole, and a secret realm appeared behind him. The flower monsters who were slaughtered by him all fell into his cosmic secret realm. The violent divine power, transformed, is pure divine power. Please remember the domain name of the book's first publication. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5673. It's a pity that I extract too little, just a few hundred times the divine power. This bit of supernatural power, he could still see before, now he has Dongjun's bones, and he doesn't like it anymore. Using Gen Qi again, after strangling dozens of flower monsters, Jen Wuxuang was about to leave. But the next moment, the ground began to tremble, and an earth-shattering breath radiated from above. Jen Wuxuang frowned, and this breath was probably from the Flower Demon King. The breath of the Four Tribulations realm. Although the opponent is a Sange, the Four Tribulation realm's Sanjeki powerhouse does not consume much. With this natural dojo, it can quickly recover even if it consumes a lot of money. Is a difficult character. No wonder, even the 5 Tribulations realm hadn't been offered for a favor. But he doesn't want to conflict with each other. It's better to leave as soon as possible. The entrance of the 4th floor was right in front of him. Jen Wuxuang slid into the hole directly. A large group of flower monsters rushed into the air, and then rushed towards the hole on the 4th floor. But at this time, a voice came from the air. Let him go. The voice of the Flower Demon King is an absolute command. Even those flower monsters became extremely violent because they swallowed the monk's supernatural power, and calmed down. The Flower Demon King descended from the sky, and thousands of flowers bloomed behind him. After came to the ground, he felt the power of the Starry Sky, and a cold sweat appeared on his forehead. Starry Sky strong? It seems that my plan is going ahead. The Flower Demon King dispelled the Flower Demon Queen and returned to the 6th floor of Baihua Mountain. As for her plan, it really has something to do with Jen Wuxuang. Can't say that it has something to do with Jen Wuxuang alone, but it has something to do with the whole ancient wood continent. The Gumu sect's holy meeting will be held soon. The 4 places and the position of the saint will all be born. Everyone is staring. Now the Flower Demon King, who sees countless stars as strong stars, is aware of the difficulty of the quota. I don't want to cause trouble. Otherwise, Jen Wuxuang today is not so easy to leave. After reaching the 4th floor, it was very easy. Jen Wuxuang also no longer concealed his figure, but directly exploded with divine power and rushed out with all his strength. Along the way, although there was a flower demon in the 2nd Tribulation realm, it did not hinder him. This surprised Jen Wuxuang, but it was best. After leaving the 4th floor, he directly tore through the space of Baihua Mountain, leaving Baihua Mountain in the turbulence of time and space. When appeared again, he had already reached the outside state capital. Finally out. Jen Wuxuang let out a sigh, and then returned to his original appearance, suppressing his strength to the ordinary tribulation realm, and the aura on his body was also completely divine. At the same time, when Jen Wuxuang appeared, a group of mysterious girls passed by. Jen Wuxuang recognized the other party, but now he has changed his appearance and breath, and the other party can't recognize him. Amidst the luxurious immortality, the mysterious girl felt a breath of emperor, but she ignored it. Miss, this person is the deacon of Qingyunzong. The old man in Qingshan naturally also saw Jen Wuxuang, and recognized Jen Wuxuang's identity from the other's clothes. Mysterious girl, calmly said, don't worry about it, go back to the capital first. Yes. Ignoring Jen Wuxuang, this group of people left straight away. Jen Wuxuang waited for the opponent to leave before starting to leave. It seems that it should be the prince of a certain family in the capital, but I don't know who it is. Jen Wuxuang did not tell Wu Li of this. The Emperor possesses the combat power of the second tribulation realm, so the identity of the opponent is not simple. It's better not to provoke me. Let's cooperate honestly with Wu Li and plan the of Wanliu. It takes at least 3 hours to travel from Jingju to the capital. Of course, if Jian Wushuang is in his peak state, he can get there with a stick of incense, but it is not necessary. It's only noon, and the dinner is in the evening. There are still several hours. And the Baihua vine, it took less than 3 hours to pick it. Before the first dead, it happened to be the banquet of Elder Mu Chen. As long as the relationship with Mu Chen is established, he can get into the core. Will be eligible to go to the ancient wood school at that time. Otherwise, like him, a strong man without a name and no surname, even with Wu Li's recommendation, it would be very troublesome to enter the Gumu sect. Even in the Guu time and space, he is also particular about one origin. That's why he clings to each other. Even if he pinched his nose and went to fetch the eldest princess, he was willing. For the Temple of Chishan, this time he has lost his blood. Dongkun's skeleton, he didn't take it for nothing. The capital of the King of Vietnam, located on a fairly flat crust, is extremely magnificent. Is the core of the Yu Kingdom, and its prosperity is even more majestic than the Qingyun city under the Qingyun sect. This also depends on the strength of the female emperor of Yu Kingdom. The Lord of the Universe at the pinnacle of the 5 tribulations is rumored to be a super powerhouse who has the hope of successfully transcending the tribulation. And among the royal family, there are also the ancestors of the scattered robbers in the 7 tribulations realm. The background is not bad. Qingyun Zong. The current Azure Cloud sect, the surviving power is not considered strong. S reputation in the ancient wood continent has fallen to the bottom. There is not even a master of the universe in the 6 tribulations realm, only the master of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm supports the facade. Therefore, Wu Lizhong's plan is to let him cling to the Yu royal family, not the Qingyunzong high level. After entering the royal capital, he directly contacted Wu Li. Because it was still almost time, the two of them first went to a residence of the Wu family in the royal capital to settle down, and when it was dark, they went to the Muchen Palace. Muchen, titled Muang, is one of the 8 kings of Vietnam, is also the only one in the 3 tribulations realm among 80,000, and he is also the Lord of the Universe. Has a high status in the royal family. Only the female emperor of Yu Kingdom is stronger than him in the present age. Therefore, his big birthday will inevitably attract strong people from all sides, and it is rumored that even the empress will come in person. Wu Li also went with him naturally. After all, he was the ancestor of one of the top 10 families and a good friend of Mu Chen. The strength is even half a step in the 4 tribulation realm. Jian Wushuang, but later heard of some things about Wu Li. This old guy hid deeply, and his name in Yu country is also very big. Otherwise, the Wu family would also be unstable. The top 10 families. Brother Wushuang, you really spent a lot of money this time. You actually got the 100-flower vine, which seems to have just been picked. Wu Li looked at the 100-flower vine in the wooden box with hot eyes. Originally, he also prepared a birthday gift for Jian Wushuang to Mu Chen, but now it seems unnecessary. Jian Wushuang picked up the tea, savored it carefully, and said calmly, "It's nothing. Without a little effort, the other party may not really value me that much. Although his strength is good, there are still many top students and disciples under Mu Chen." After Wu Li returned the wooden box containing the 100-flower vine to Jian Wushuang, he was amazed at Jian Wushuang's strength in his heart. Can get such top vines, at least to go to the 5th floor. Where's the flower monster? The strength is not weak. Even if he went there, he was out of luck, and he wouldn't be able to get such a treasure. And I have to pick time and then return. Please remember the domain name of the book's first publication. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5674. Jian Wushuang's strength is not inferior to him, maybe even stronger than him. He also felt more and more that it was a wise move to choose Jian Wushuang to cooperate in the first place. At the same time, he was extremely curious. Jian Wushuang was so powerful, he was only an emperor. Identity is definitely not simple. Is not the children of those horror families, or the inheritance of a certain 8-star sect. And it is still the most powerful Tianjiao, not one of them. Emperor, there are many who can match the Three Tribulations realm, but the emperor who can defeat the Three Tribulations realm is very rare. In today's era, I'm afraid there are not many. Even that great priest is probably not as powerful as Zhen Wushuang. He thought, if Zhen Wushuang reveals his strength, I am afraid that Jiumu faction will rush to ask for it. Just in this way, he will definitely track down Zhen Wushuang's details. Wu Li also had a guess in his heart. It should be that Zhen Wushuang was unwilling to reveal his identity in his previous life, or because his identity in his previous life was more sensitive. His news is very well informed, the Emperor of 9 heavens and 10 places. He has collected information during this period of time, and there is no one that has anything to do with Zhen Wushuang. In the last 10,000 years, I have never heard of that emperor's fall. Although there are some doubts, but now the two are in a cooperative relationship, naturally they will not ask too much. After chatting for a while, Wu Li took Zhen Wushuang out of the mansion and headed to the Muwang mansion. Just outside the Muwangfu, a shout came from a distance. "Brother Wu Li!" Looking along the voice, a strong man with a dragon head and an iron tower walked over. When Zhen Wushuang saw the opponent, his eyes narrowed slightly, but his heart was a little shocked. Is not because of the opponent's strength, but a familiar sense of oppression. That kind of oppression, he felt it in Broly. I didn't expect to be able to encounter this kind of breath here. Broly is the superpower of Change Dao. Is it possible that the opponent is also Change Dao? Is also unlikely. This is the time and space dominated by divine power. Besides, that sense of oppression is related to the divine power radiated by the opponent. After seeing the other party, Wu Li also leaked a smile, and hurriedly stepped forward and said politely, "Brother Pound, I haven't seen him for a long time, and his strength has improved again. Haha, recently I went to Shiguo with the Scorpion Wives, but received a lot of goods." Pound is very outspoken, without any concealment. This caused Zhen Wushuang to have a good impression of the burly man in front of him. Has become a powerhouse in the robbery realm, and the character is still good, but it is not uncommon. In other words, he has never seen him except Hua Qing. This is the second place. Pound also noticed Zhen Wushuang's gaze, stared at him, and said, "Brother Wu Li, who is this kid?" "My nephew." Wu Li beckoned, introduced Zhen Wushuang over, and then said, "A few days ago, I couldn't hang around in Outland. Come to join me. Now I have an errand in Qingyunzong." Zhen Wushuang was a little speechless, and Wu Li took advantage of it for nothing. But at the beginning, his identity was just a friend of Wu Li. Now that it has changed, I am afraid the relationship between the two is unusual. In this way, it also seems that his identity becomes more three-dimensional. After all, the identity of a friend is not exact. Zhen Wushuang is an emperor. How can he be a good friend? Can only be said to be a relative. Outland. After Pound heard about Outland, he became very interested in Zhen Wushuang, and exclaimed, "It is not easy for an emperor to stay in Outland, and you see that I am so indifferent, I must be strong. It's almost where to go. How can you go to the Qingyunzong where the birds don't shit?" Zhen Wushuang heard a wry smile and didn't know how to answer. Fortunately, Wu Li was more sleek, and quickly said, "Hey, I was chased and killed in Outland, injured, and no treasures to recover, so I can only come to me in a desperate way. If this is the case, when the injury recovers, it's better to follow me to Shiguo. Where is the place where you emperors roam?" Pound nodded, and he could see Zhen Wushuang, so he would say this. Zhen Wushuang could only smile awkwardly and went over it in a perfunctory manner. Upon seeing this, Wu Li turned off the subject and said, "Hurry in, but today is for Brother Mu Chen to wish his birthday. Now the time is almost up, and many people have already entered the palace." The three also walked towards the palace. Outside the Muwangfu, it is extremely lively. A lot of desolate beasts and immortals exuding the aura of robbery landed on both sides. There are a lot of great powers in the robbery realm. Is a rare event in Vietnam. A lot of experts from the Three Tribulations realm came. The Three Tribulations realm is also regarded as the top powerhouse in the Yu Kingdom, and even the Four Tribulations realm powerhouses have come. Is the Elder of Qingyunzong. Elder Muchen, went out to greet him directly. Wu Li and others waited naturally and interestingly. After the super powerhouse of the Four Tribulations realm entered the mansion, Elder Mu Chen saw Wu Li and Pound walking along with smiles. Brother Wu Li, Brother Pound. Elder Mu Chen hurriedly walked over and chatted with the two. When he saw Zhen Wushuang, he also nodded. Then I'll wait, I'll go in first. Okay, be sure to drink 2 more glasses later. The relationship between the three is very good. Wu Li is the ancestor of the Wu family, and Pang De is also the leader of the Pang family of the top 10 families in Vietnam. When he was young, he was the same generation as Mu Chen. After entering the palace, someone led them into the banquet hall. The layout here is very grand, even more magnificent than when it was a concubine. After the three of them entered, because Zhen Wushuang's identity was just an emperor, naturally he couldn't sit in a high position with the two of them. We'll also separate first. Zhen Wushuang, under the guidance of his servant, walked to a relatively backward position. Stopped in front of a beautiful note. After the case of, there is a futon with Zhen Wushuang's name written on it. Zhen Wushuang thanked the servant and sat down. All the emperors sitting near him, there are not many acquaintances, so they didn't go to talk, but used the power of mind to eavesdrop on the conversations in the robbery realm above. In this way, I learned a little more about Gumu continent. Also noticed some emperors who could sit on an equal footing with the robbery realm. Each are the emperors of the Yu kingdom. The combat power is comparable to the tribulation realm, and the divine power has reached about 100,000 times. Belongs to the emperor with perfect power. This kind of character, that thrown into the temple of Chishan, can make the true spirit cultivate like a treasure. Is just the arrogant of a country in the ancient wood continent. Not to mention looking at the entire ancient wood continent, even if you go to the strongest country, these people in Shigua are not ranked. Although he didn't have a deep understanding of Gumu continent these years, he still knew a lot about one-sided things. Today's 8-star Zhongmen Gumu sect is somewhat similar to the Qingyun men of Yu Kingdom. Belong to the low period. In terms of the existing strength, the Gumu school is not as good as the Stone Country. Because there is a flame in the Stone Country, whose strength is terrifying. Chapter 5675 is equivalent to the ancestor of the Gumu school. In the contemporary Stone Country, there have been several cosmic masters of the 6 tribulations realm, and there is also a cosmic master of the 7 tribulations realm. On this point, Gumu school cannot compare. The ancient wood sect saints of this generation are only in the 6 tribulations realm, and they are about to cross the tribulation, and there is a high probability that they will also fail. At that time, morale will decrease again. Really want to be like this. In fact, it is also very beneficial to Zhen Wushuang. His plan with Wu Li is the sacred tree of Wanliu. The weaker the Gumu faction, the greater the chance for them both. Wanliu Shenmu is not exclusively owned by the Gumu sect, but most of it is occupied by the opponent. It is impossible to open it quietly. The two of them did not have the strength of the original lord of Hungmu. Can only approach the ancient wood school first, and then find a way to open the Wanliu Shenmu. According to the news that Zhen Wushuang has heard over the years, many practitioners have entered the Wanliu Shenmu, but apart from the disciples of the Gumu school, there are very few. It's better to enter the Gumu sect first, and then open the Wanliu Shenmu. It depends on today's performance. Yu Kingdom has a place to participate in the holy meeting. If you want this place, you need not only your strength, but also your connections. Wu Li's network is very strong, but not enough. Just as Zhen Wushuang was thinking about how to get a quota, a loud shout came from outside the door, "Your Majesty Fengchen is here to congratulate." Sure enough, the majestic empress came. Zhen Wushuang also put away his thoughts, and even put his thought power into his body, not daring to expose it. Also stared at the threshold, wanting to see the honor of the empress. The voice just fell. The first to cross the threshold were 2 thin old men, dressed in luxurious and introverted auras, but they could still make people feel that the aura of these 2 people is not simple. For Tribulation Realm Powerhouse is just a monk of Sanjia. But even so, this pomp is big enough. After the 2 entered, They stood on both sides of the threshold. Then came a cold and delicate face. His eyes are like a knife, and his thin lips are like a blade. Wearing a golden dragon robe, the 5-claw golden dragon embroidered on the top is lifelike. When she entered the banquet hall, she heard the sound of the dragon faintly. At this time, whether it is the powerhouse of the robbery realm or the emperor, one after another got up. Everyone bowed their heads to see you. Leng Yang Emperor, his complexion remained unchanged, he calmly took the main seat and took his seat calmly. Flat body. After hearing these words, everyone dared to straighten up. Jian Wushuang can feel the extraordinary in the other party, the Lord of the Universe in the 5 Tribulations realm, that is not just talking. Although he had been in close contact with the powerhouse of the 6 Tribulations realm back then, it felt different to him. When he helped Foy Ego, he was his own person after all, he was very kind to him, and deliberately suppressed his breath. But this empress is different, her breath comes directly from the sky. Is different for everyone. For the robbery realm, it is a shock. For the emperor, it was shocking. After everyone's recollection, Elder Mu Chen got up from the second position, first said a lot of useless words, and then to his own sister, the female emperor of Yu, after bragging about it, the banquet was completely opened. This banquet is actually very boring. It is nothing more than a group of old friends taking this opportunity to gather together. Maybe there is some chance, when the time comes, they will meet to go out together. But there is another highlight in the early stage. That is the birthday gift. From low to high, one by one, they stepped forward to pray for Muchen's birthday. Can also see all kinds of treasures. As soon as the banquet started, someone took the initiative to step forward. Junior, the 4th protector of Mingjiao, give a birthday greeting to Senior Mu Chen, and offer a 9-leaf fan. After speaking, he took out the treasure and took it over. Muchen smiled, his mouth was polite, but his hands were not polite. With a wink, he asked the servant beside him to collect the treasure. Then nodded, and said a few polite words to the protector of Mingjiao. The Mingjiao protector was also very acquainted. He didn't miss the time, and he returned to his position after a few words. Those who can offer gifts are not the Tianjiao among the emperors, or the powerhouse of the robbery realm. Has a respect and order. In fact, this is arranged in order according to the weight of the treasures. Of course, the more powerful the treasures, the more precious they are. No, Jian Wushuang has received Wu Li's transmission. He will follow Wu Li to present gifts together. An emperor, together with an emperor of the 3 Tribulations realm, came forward to offer gifts. This is a rare thing. Even the young patriarchs of some big families do not have this qualification. Wu Li also wanted Mu Chen to attach importance to Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang had no objection to Wu Li's arrangement. He was thinking about the value of the treasure he sent. Just now there was a disciple of the Qingyunzong inheritance, and the treasure he sent was worth 200,000 universe crystals. Secretly marveled in my heart, this strong man in Guu time and space is really rich. In the temple of Chishan, it is very difficult to get tens of thousands of universe crystals. As a result, in Guu time and space, these emperors and arrogances were hundreds of thousands at hand. The universe crystal on his body now is only a few 100,000. Is too poor. At the beginning, he also exchanged a lot of universe crystals in advance. Now it seems that he thinks too much. In Guu time and space, it is much easier to obtain the universe crystal than in the Chishan temple. But some of his treasures, even in Guu time and space, are incalculable. Such as the treasure of time and space Guantian chessboard. There are also beast soldiers. The beast at the time of the birth of Gua time and space has long since fallen to nowhere, and there are very few rumors. Don't mention the beasts. There are no such treasures, but it does not mean that there is no treasure more powerful than the beasts. According to the division of ancient moon time and space, the treasures of the universe are also divided into 9 calamities. This also depends on the strength of the origin in the treasure of the universe. The origin of the beast warrior, the peak is the 5 Tribulations realm, and now it is only the 3 Tribulations realm. If you want to improve, you need nurturing. A master of the universe of the 5 Tribulations realm, At least it has to accumulate tens of thousands of epochs to be able to accumulate a treasure of the universe at the level of the five tribulations realm. The stronger the treasure, the more time it takes to nurture. Above the 9 tribulations is the treasure of time and space. Whether it was in the original Maruor time and space, or the current GUU time and space. There is very little news about the treasure of time and space. Hardly even. It may also be that Jian Wushuang's identity is too low, and he has not yet touched the real core level. Just like this banquet, Jian Wushuang saw and heard more than he heard in thousands of years. The same precious treasures were presented, and Jian Wushuang was extremely enthusiastic. There are many precious treasures of original cultivation. It's a pity that they all went into Muchen's bag. Muchen has a big birthday every epoch, and every time he sits still, he can get so many treasures. It is good to have status and status. Jian Wushuang is also a little envious. After he arrived at the Tribulation Realm that day, he also went to experience the taste of a side overlord. This is just a powerful prince. The wealth of the female emperor is probably even more amazing. Uncle, I'm late. A thick voice came from outside the door. Everyone's eyes were all attracted. Please remember the domain name of the book's first publication. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5676. The coming person is not a robbery, but an emperor. Has a big waist and round waist, like a bucket, and his face is even more hideous and terrifying. According to common sense, the appearance of the immortal empress can be changed at will. You can change your appearance even with some secret techniques. This emperor is showing people with this face. It's the eldest princess, someone reminded in a low voice. Most of those who are able to come here have met the eldest princess. There are also some younger generations. This is the first time I have seen you. Were all taken aback by the appearance of the princess. Jian Wushuang was also surprised. But unlike these people, he felt a familiar breath from the other person. And I saw each other not long ago. Koala. Jian Wushuang raised his brow, and a smile leaked from the corner of his mouth. The mysterious Baihua mountain, the koala summoned, is very similar to the princess in front of her, and the aura is even more similar. There is a big connection between the two. Plus, if you observe from the other's breath of life, the eldest princess in front of you is probably not the deity. At this point, the strong below the five tribulations realm can't see through it at all. Jian Wushuang, however, can be felt with the special power of life. The eldest princess in front of me is definitely not the body, but the koala. The opponent's deity should not be here, but in the palace. Usually, the princess uses the koala as the deity. Thinking of that quirky girl, Jian Wushuang was very interested in her scheming and plans. The arrival of the princess made Elder Mu Chen very happy. He got up personally, took the burly koala, and said with concern, "Little girl, if you can come, I will be very happy, so why bother? Uncle, this time I have specially prepared a great gift for you," the princess said, and ordered the servant, Manager Li, present the heart of the lotus leaf. When heard the lotus leaf heart, everyone's complexion changed. That's an incredible treasure. The heart of lotus leaves is a treasure unique to Shugua, a treasure with a price but no market. Ordinary people can't buy it if they want. Unless it is a person with a strong background and strong ability, it can be obtained. Elder Muchen also moved his heart when he heard it, his complexion changed a little, and he secretly transmitted, "Girl Jin Chen, you are trying to bribe your uncle. Uncle, you must help me this time. My mother is already determined to hire a son-in-law for me." The eldest princess Jin Chen said, aggrieved like an 800 catty little chubby. Elder Mu Chen, who has always loved this niece, frowned, and sighed, "Girl, I can't help you this time. No one can change the things set by the clan." He knew why this niece rebelled so much, and even did not hesitate to refine her incarnation to show others that she didn't want to be recruited by the family. But how can this stop the emperor's life? Your country needs a prince. The prince must be the eldest princess. That's why I have to recruit son-in-law. And also recruit an emperor of the same rank with a clean background and good strength. But this eldest princess has already had a sweetheart. But that person is a child of the Stone King clan. Even if the other party was willing to be the door-to-door son-in-law, the Yu country would not dare to lead wolves into the house. The eldest princess is the future empress. How can she recruit an uncontrollable son-in-law? Even if the empress had the confidence to face Shigua, the clan would not be able to pass. Princess Jinchen pouted her mouth, complaining in her eyes when she looked up at her mother. Elder Muchen pulled Princess Jinchen to his seat and then nodded to continue. This kind of housework still has to be solved in private. Wu Li nodded towards Jian Wushuang at this time, and at the same time, he passed through the sound, and he was at the two of them immediately. Brother Wushuang, you don't want to be fooled by this little girl. This is not her deity. If it becomes this time, I promise you that you will never suffer. Wu Li Chuanyin promised. Actually, he doesn't need to comfort him. This is a matter of Wanliu Shenmu. The chance of the robbery. According to Wu Li's most conservative speculation, the goods received after the two of them entered, as long as they came out alive, they could quickly become the five tribulations realm. This is also the experience of the exchange, inferred. The premise is to come out alive. Must go first. To get in, you need the qualifications of the Holy Congregation. This qualification is very rare in the Azure Cloud sect. Only through the royal family of Vietnam can you get in. Wu Li himself is fine. He has some contacts in the Jiu Mu sect, so it's easy to get himself in. If you want Jian Wushuang to go, you don't have that ability. After all, that is the 8-star sect, not what he can do in a half-step 4 tribulations realm. Don't worry, I have a sense of measure. Jian Wushuang transcribed. He is not a stunned kid who was just born. How can there be a grudge in this kind of thing? After Pound presented his birthday gift, Wu Li also slowly got up, and at the same time deliberately greeted Jian Wushuang to come in front of everyone. Jian Wushuang behaved very obediently, like a junior, obediently walking towards Wu Li. This made many people notice Jian Wushuang. Some people still recognize him. After all, he has been following Elder Mu Chen for thousands of years, and he is considered a famous person. And these people have heard that Jian Wushuang has an unusual relationship with Wu Li. Presumably, he is also an emperor with an unusual background. Brother Mu Chen, my nephew has received a lot of care from you since he entered your door. This time I have to clamor for congratulations, but it was a bit sudden. After Mu Chen heard it, he smiled knowingly, and replied, Brother Wu Li, since he is his own nephew, why should he meet outsiders? I think Wushuang's younger generation has good aptitude, but it is not considered to be taking care of him. Qing Yunzong must have a good job. By the way, the next inner sect trial, Wushuang nephew can try it. Jian Wushuang held the wooden box with both hands, and his heart moved when he heard it. I really flattered a few words, and the benefits came straight away. He didn't offer a birthday gift, so he left the inner disciples' affairs to him. Said it was a try, how could it be unsuccessful? It is a pity that Jian Wushuang and Wu Li are not just the inner disciples of Qing Yunzong. Wushuang, don't thank Elder Mu Chen too much, Wu Li said with a serious face. Jian Wushuang respectfully handed out the wooden box containing the vines, pretending to be excited. Thank you Mu Chen, the younger generation will never forget this kindness. The general manager of the palace took the box in Jian hands, and opened it as before, and prepared to report the name of the treasure. But when it was opened, a shocking divine power leaked from the top. The general manager of the palace was so knowledgeable, he couldn't help but swallowed, paused, and then shouted, 400 flower species, 100 flower vine, and it hasn't reached the first dry. This also means that it was only taken from Baihua Mountain today. Please remember the domain name of the book's first publication. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5677. Feeling this power, and hearing 400 flower seeds at the same time, many people couldn't help but take a breath, and at the same time couldn't help but guess Jian Wushuang's intentions, or Wu Li's intentions. Jian Wushuang, an emperor, would bring out such a treasure. Many people thought it was Wu Li's treasure, and counted the favor on Jian Wushuang's head. This piece of 100-flower vine, if it were auctioned at this time, would definitely be able to sell for the price of 3 million universe crystals. If 3 days have passed, The maximum value is 300,000. This great gift, the Emperor of the Three Tribulations realm seldom can give it out. Was taken out by an Emperor Jian Wushuang, no one would believe it. The eldest Princess Jin Chen, who was sitting next to Mu Chen, showed hesitation when she saw it. I took a closer look and found that it was indeed that part of the Baihua vine that she was climbed first on Baihua Mountain. When looking at Jian Wushuang again, his eyes narrowed slightly. If others feel that this thing was given by Wu Li as Jian Wushuang after it was obtained, then the eldest Princess Jin Chen feels that there is someone behind it. The terrifying power of the Five Tribulations Universe Master. Elder Mu Chen's eyes were hot. He didn't expect Wu Li to give such a big gift. After thinking of what Wu Li said to him a few days ago, I also understood something in my heart. After today's birthday banquet, I can have a chat. Such a precious treasure, Wu Shuangyin nephew is too polite. Mu Chen didn't verbally agree to anything this time, but got up in person and had a drink with Wu Lijian Wushuang. So many people are watching, it's hard to talk too much. Wu Li also understood naturally, and pulled Jian Wushuang back to his position. After returning to his position, Jian Wushuang could feel a lot of gaze coming. These people also have their own little abacus in their hearts. Yu Guo recruits son-in-law, this matter can be a lot of people staring at. Now it seems that Wu Li is also eyeing this matter. Birthday, proceeding in an orderly manner. The Emperor of the Three Tribulations realm and Mu Chen are considered the same generation, and the number of them is considered to be the largest. There are hundreds of experts in the Three Tribulations realm, come to congratulate. Most of them are the masters of the universe. Only a small part is scattered robbery. The powerhouse of the dispersal tribulation realm means that they cannot be promoted, and their strength and status will drop a lot. There is a big gap with Wu Li, who is the master of the universe in the half-step 4 tribulation realm. In addition to these people, the rest is the 4 tribulations realm powerhouse. The 4 tribulations realm, whether it is the Lord of the Universe or the Sanctions, status is much beyond the 3 tribulation realm. Even if Mu Chen's background and status are high, there are still few people coming. Also came from the 4 tribulations realm powerhouses of the Yu King clan and Qingyun sect. There are 6 people in total. Although the treasures took out were different, they were not too valuable. Being able to come is Mu Chen's greatest face. But Jian Wushuang noticed one thing. Each of these 4 tribulations realm powerhouses brought their descendants or their own direct disciples. Although they are all emperors, they are all good in strength, and each is very strong. And recommend my younger generations either intentionally or unintentionally. Jian Wushuang hadn't reacted yet. Wu Li sent him a voice message to clarify his confusion. Brother Wushuang, pay attention to these people later. They don't need to worry about their strength, but the backgrounds of these people are not simple. Their purpose is the same as that of the eldest princess. Wu Li smiled, looked at Jian Wushuang, and nodded. Soon, Jian Wushuang understood. This is not for Mu Chen, but for the Empress. Shouyan is just a guise, in fact it is for recruiting son-in-law. It seems that the rumors are true. Yu Guo is true about recruiting son-in-law, and it is also very anxious for success. This is probably related to the position of the saint in the future. The strength and talent of the female emperor of the Yu Kingdom will definitely go to the holy meeting, and the goal is also the position of the saint. Once in this position, the status of Vietnam will also increase. The position of the empress needs someone to inherit. Now the princess is a very suitable candidate. A future female emperor needs to recruit her son-in-law, which is normal. And recruiting son-in-law, not too strong, is not a strong strength, but a strong background. Can't recruit a strong background, the strength does not matter, as long as it is the same level, even if it is stronger than the eldest princess, it is fine. The throne of is supported by imperial power. The emperor's power is the background of the Yu Kingdom, as well as those sleeping powerhouses in the Sanjie realm. Jian Wushuang's current status and strength are very suitable. On the surface, his combat power may be almost inferior, but as long as he reveals some strength at a critical moment, there is nothing he can do. He also observed the sitting Emperor Tianjiao. The strongest background, but the young master of the Yu Kingdom family, this is still incomparable with the Yu Kingdom family. As for combat power, in Jian Wushuang's eyes, it was average, not too dazzling. Among these people, his identity is not a beast, but he is not at the bottom. Backed by the Wu family, he is also considered a famous family. Regardless of true combat power, he is only 100,000 times the current basic divine power, and he ranks in the forefront of these people. Over the years, Wu Li's layout seems to have played a role. He has unknowingly entered the vortex of this contention. When some Emperor Tianjiao looked at him, they also leaked unkind eyes. It seems everyone's purpose is the same. Jian Wushuang is very calm, sits motionless, looks like an expert. Birthday is almost over after these people retired. Now, the only female emperor left in the hall has not yet spoken. Everyone is also looking forward to it. But they didn't dare to look directly at the female emperor, but waited for the other side to speak. Today's emperor's big banquet, I also wish the emperor to advance in realm, break through the fourth calamity, and go one step further. The female emperor suddenly said, and the atmosphere heated up. Muchen even got up quickly and respectfully accepted the treasure from the empress. This time I didn't let the next person pick it up. The female emperor is his own sister, but for the stability of the imperial power, everything must be respected and orderly, and take the lead in order to let people follow suit. Thank you, Your Majesty. Mu Chen bowed his body and thanked him, carefully taking the treasure. The birthday celebration has come to an end. Next, it's business. Muchen first dealt with all parties and expressed the intention of the Yu royal family. Of course, the truth cannot be said, even if everyone understands it, it is impossible to say it directly. Everyone, today, Xiao Wang's birthday, I also took this opportunity to recruit sons-in-law for the eldest princess, wise nephews of all parties, and hope not to be restrained. After finishing patting the eldest princess' broad shoulders, he motioned her to get up. But the princess had already had a sweetheart, so she would be willing. But she stood up when she felt a striking gaze. Some emperors who didn't know the truth took a breath. It was not because of the news, but because of the appearance of the princess, I felt a little uncomfortable in my heart. Recommend the new book of urban great god La Rochelle. Chapter 5678. Even if the other party's status is noble and powerful, he still can't raise much interest. These people don't know, and there are some Emperor Tianjiao who know the truth. Such as Jian Wushuang. He cast a kind look at the eldest princess. When the Princess Jin Chen saw Jian Wushuang's gaze, she gave Jian Wushuang a vicious look. Although she recognized the 100-flower cane that Jian Wushuang took out, she didn't think Jian Wushuang was so powerful, but felt that Jian Wushuang's background was definitely not as simple as the surface. Jian Wushuang was dissatisfied with her gaze, but responded with a smile. At the same time, those Emperor Tianjiao with a strong background in Yu also showed their demeanor and strength. Everyone is eager to try. This makes the ordinary Emperor Tianjiao a little puzzled. They really can't understand, these Emperor Tianjiao with head and face need background and background, strength and strength, why they have to marry such a eldest princess. Information. The importance of information is thoroughly realized at this moment. Not only did they know that the eldest princess deity was not what it is now, but they also knew the benefits of marrying the eldest princess. The number of places in the holy meeting. The entire country of Yu, I am afraid there are not many. The royal family of Yu, Qingyunzong, Mingjiao. And the top 10 families. Spread out, I am afraid there is only one in each family. Is definitely to give the place to the powerhouse of the robbery realm. If there are 2, it can be given to one emperor. The key is the 10 big families, which also have a gap in strength. There are probably only 1 or 2 families that can get 2 places. Other families have to find a way. The saint will be half the emperor, and half the robbery. It is best to have 2 places. Family at the bottom, like the Wu family, can only have 1 quota, and this quota is due to Wu Li's reasons. There are 20 places in a country, and the family accounts for at least half. The remaining 3 powers are divided into points, each of which is extremely precious. There is nothing superfluous at all. That's why I have to fight like this. The method of recruiting son-in-law is also very simple. All emperors who come here today are qualified to see it. But in the end it was decided by strength. The background of the emperor who can come here has been found out, and the only thing left is the competition in strength. When Mu Chen saw that some people were still a little inactive, he said, "There is one more thing, but this king has forgotten to say. The sacred meeting in Gumu continent will be held soon. This time there are 20 places in the country. There will be a consort." After hearing this, the weaker forces looked sideways. Holy meeting. Is a holy meeting for the election of saints? If they usually do, they would go to see the excitement at most. Even if they are given places, the family has no suitable candidates to participate. The candidate of the saint must be the Lord of the universe, but also a female practitioner. Just this threshold has blocked 99% of the strong. Now recruiting horses, why do you want to mention this? This time it was not Mu Chen's turn to explain, and the female emperor said in person, "This time the holy meeting is not trivial. It is related to the Shunmu king. You can find out more. Godwood king." Everyone was shocked when they heard this name. Even Jian Wushuang frowned. He hadn't heard Wu Li say that this time the holy meeting would involve the Shunmu king. Although Wu Li's news was extremely well informed, he didn't know that this holy meeting was related to the Shunmu king. For this name, Jian Wushuang knew it when he first went to Qingyunzong. As long as the practitioners who have a little knowledge of the Gumu school, they know it. Go up to the robbery realm, and down to the commonplace. Everyone knows what Shunmu Wang represents. That is the ancestor of Gumu school. The king is strong. The strong men who can be crowned kings are the ancestors of the 8-star sect. If the ancestors fall, they will be hereditary. A super powerhouse in the 8 tribulations realm. Jian Wushuang held his breath. If this sacred meeting is really related to King Shunmu, then the matter between him and Wu Li might not be so easy to proceed. That's a strong person in the 8 tribulations realm. Although it is the realm of dispersal, there is no cosmic dojo. It's not like they can peep. The candidates for the general saint screening of the saints, at most, it is not bad for Gu Mu to send 7 tribulations realm. Is now related to the Shunmu king. I am afraid that ancestor will be born. This also represents this holy meeting, not only for the saint as candidates, but also other actions. Like Jian Wushuang, Wu Li and Jian Wushuang both leaked out of shock and looked at each other. The empress is here, the two of them dare not say anything, they can only endure, wait for the banquet to pass, and then talk privately. Jian Wushuang couldn't let go of the job of recruiting his son-in-law. This holy meeting is of extraordinary significance, and the movement is very loud. Even if the Shunmu king appears, the two will try it together. Even if the Wanliu Shunmu hadn't been opened, I still had to go to the holy meeting. Wu Li has attended many times, and it may be nothing to him. But Jian Wushuang just arrived in Guu time and space. This kind of holy meeting must not be missed. Wow! After everyone was shocked, the empress directly took out one of her palms and fell into the center of the banquet hall. Guests on all sides can just be seen. The meaning of is very clear, and there is no need for everyone to say anything. If you can, just go straight up. At this time, Mu Chen smiled and got up, fell into the square cave, and said, "Everyone can enter. You only need to stay in this square for a quarter of an hour. After entering, you can shoot at will, don't have any scruples." Obviously, the candidate this time is not alone. Is a group of people. Persist in a quarter of an hour, it is impossible to be just one person, it may produce several people. It's even more interesting to be able to shoot each other in the middle. As soon as Muchen's voice fell, the emperor among the guests couldn't bear it. "My son, don't worry, go ahead, be sure to hold on for a quarter of an hour." Yes is not only a family child, but also a strong robber in the Azure Cloud sect, but also let his disciple go. Became a horse, but there is a place in the holy meeting. There are only 20 such key places in the entire Yu country. When I don't pay much attention to it, half of the emperors can go, and the rest are the powerhouses in the robbery realm. Now this time is different, I am afraid that most of the forces will still let the robbery go forward. After all, There are still too few emperors against the sky, not to mention that the Yu kingdom is too small compared to other dynasties. Just like now, half of the powerful emperors in Vietnam are here, and Jian Wushuang did not see that there is one who looks like the sky, is incomparable to the gods and generals of the Temple of the Gods. Wushuang, you go too, Wu Li said with a serious face, pretending to be deep. Jian Wushuang just got up, and after saluting respectfully, did he enter the world in the palm of his hand. For a time, several streamers flew in. 100 people have entered. The robbery realm in the hall is focused on the descendants of these emperors. Chapter 5679. Thanks. One generation is inferior to one generation. Pound slammed his lips and said, there is no decent one. How can it compare with the emperor of Shiguotian? Although the words are terrible, they are also truthful. But now the position is different, Wu Li retorted. I think these little guys are pretty good, at least they are much better than us before. The rest of the Tribulation Realm powerhouses who brought their younger generations also spoke in agreement. Haha, Pound, I remember that when you were an emperor, your supernatural power was only 90,000 times. Look at these little guys, which one is not stronger than you? They are the future. Pound sneered and shook his head. He has been in the stone country all the time, and his knowledge is much better than these people. The heaven-defying monarchs in the stone country, not to mention the top ones, just ordinary Tianjiao, the divine power can explode to more than 100,000 times. Look at the emperors below, whether it can reach 100,000 times is a question. Not to mention breaking through 100,000 times. In the entire country of Vietnam, it is recognized that the strongest is the princess. Is now using the combat power to choose the horse for the eldest princess. Is ironic enough to say it. I have to fish in a puddle like Vietnam, what can I catch? Although Pound is relatively straightforward, he didn't say much about it. He knows what those people think. Muchen saw that people had almost entered, so he pulled away and left. After taking a look at the Empress, he said, now it's officially started. Dongtian world began to close. But the people in the hall can be clearly seen. Jian Wushuang, who entered the cave sky, did not find anything special. When the cave sky was closed, his body became heavier and heavier. Is also limited. According to his calculation, the constant increase in gravity within a quarter of an hour will not threaten them too much. The position he chose is relatively aside. At this time, people like them didn't feel the pressure, so they looked around. Everyone, I don't think we need to take action. Why don't we wait for a quarter of an hour? The speaker is the young patriarch from one of the top 10 families in DAU. Although he is a young patriarch, his strength is average, and his divine power is around 95,000. If we don't make a move, everyone can survive a stick of incense with this little gravity. What should we do then? I'm not going to fight. Tianyang's complexion changed slightly, and the aura on his body began to rise. He originally planned to stabilize these people first, because his strength is already considered top among these people, and he will definitely be besieged. This time picking a horse, if strength is so important, why bother looking for them? I can't just make a name by cleverness. Among them, there are also sensible people, or they have been reminded by the strong family, and they also know the cause of the matter. Do it. Boom. 3 emperors took the lead in an instant. The person who dealt with was the young master of the general family. The strength of these 3 people is good, and their divine power can soar to around 90,000 in an instant. With the beginning of these 3 people, there were continuous battle groups in the follow-up. Jian Wushuang was not conspicuous, so he was not targeted. Some people even proposed to join hands with him to deal with the strongest Tianjiao. Jian Wushuang didn't have this plan. The guesses of these people are correct, or that there is nothing wrong with the guesses of the Tribulation Realm. Jian Wushuang received a message from Wu Li, don't suppress too much, defeat everyone as much as possible. This screening is not as simple as it seems. Jian Wushuang's figure is erratic, and he has been walking on the edge of the battlefield. Just an instant, several people left the scene. Were all seriously injured by the siege, and taken away by the strong robbery. In the hall, the Empress sighed slightly. These people are still too weak. She is so strong, even if she recruits her daughter for the royal family, she can't be too weak. The background can be weak, but the strength cannot be too weak. This time recruiting son-in-law is not what the outside world thinks. Elder Muchen also saw the female emperor's thoughts, and whispered quietly, "Your Majesty, I have arranged a follower in the palace, and I don't necessarily need to choose from Vietnam. No, you must choose from them. The ones you arrange can deal with those people in Shigua, but they can't join the royal family. Their foundation is not clean." Yes. Mu Chen didn't say much. Wait for the situation within the cave. Jian Wushuang's performance at this time is very subtle, and his strength is the deepest hidden among these people. These people hardly knew Jian Wushuang, and only when Jian Wushuang took out the 100-flower vine, they found out more. But I asked people around and got very little news. Jian Wushuang, are you planning to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight? As people continue to withdraw, the number has now dropped by half. Many people also took time out and looked at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang stopped his figure and felt that the gravity was getting more and more terrifying. He knew very well that if he didn't make a move, these people would lose their combat effectiveness later. It's time for him to perform. The best of you, quit now. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists with both hands, and the breath on his body began to explode. A dark red light covers the whole body, and the scarlet arc represents the power of the beast god. His supernatural power began to rise. Gravity increases, the stronger the emperor, Ukavanshu. Com is of great help. Jiang Qianyang had already escaped the siege of several people and began to confront others. He originally thought that the battle was almost over, and the rest was up to whoever persisted for a long time. I didn't expect Jian Wushuang to make a move at this time. The Emperor Tianjiao who stopped Jian Wushuang also looked sideways. They could feel Jian Wushuang's divine power, which instantly increased 90,000 times. His divine power should be around 97. Jiang Qianyang stared at Jian Wushuang, and at the same time ridiculed those stronger people who specifically besieged them. This time, you mentioned the iron plate. Jiang Qianyang, just under the peak secret method, can burst out 98,000 times the divine power for a short time. Among these emperors, can be ranked in the top 3. There are 2 more divine powers that can reach 99,000. Jian Wushuang is left. He has not been able to see through Jian Wushuang, and now Jian Wushuang is beginning to explode his divine power. He can feel Jian Wushuang's strength is extremely powerful. I am afraid it is not weak. The emperors who were preparing to besiege Jian Wushuang also stopped. Jian Wushuang did not stop. His divine power has soared all the way. If he hadn't suppressed it, it would have exceeded 100,000 times. You must know that his current basic divine power is almost 100,000 times faster, and now with the power of the beast god, it can easily exceed 100,000, and even reach 130,000. But it's not necessary, just play. Arth. Jian Wushuang was unaffected by gravity, so he directly flew into the air and his fists suddenly exploded, and he screamed from the sky. The supernatural power directly broke through 100,000 times. Became the strongest emperor on the field. Chapter 5680. How is it possible that his divine power has exceeded 100,000 times? Jiang Qianyang couldn't believe it. The emperors who besieged Jian Wushuang were even more pale in fright. 100,000 times of supernatural power. This is already regarded as a super first-class emperor against heaven in the Yu Kingdom. Even the powerhouses of the Tribulation Realm in the main hall looked sideways at Wu Li, and understood in their hearts why Wu Li would take out such a powerful treasure to offer it. It turns out that I really have that confidence. 100,000 times of supernatural power, more than enough to join the royal family. The eldest Princess Jin Chen also stared at Jian Wushuang. Although she was a little surprised, she was still not optimistic about Jian Wushuang's strength. The outside world only knows that her divine power can reach 100,000 times, but they don't know that after her secret Mahayana, the divine power that can burst out is not weaker than those of the arrogance of Shigua. 100,000 times, but just a basis. Jian Wushuang's strength is enough to deal with those emperors who are not even 100,000 times divine power. Mu Chen became more and more satisfied with Jian Wushuang. Not only because of the role of treasures. From the perspective of overall strength and background, Jian Wushuang is perfect. Although he was not the emperor of the Yu Kingdom, he had a very close relationship with Wu Li. He was backed by the Yu Kingdom, his strength was not weak, and he seemed to be very young. Is one of the most suitable candidates. Brother Wu Li, your nephew, very good. Even Pound couldn't help but admire. There are still very few emperors with 100,000 times of supernatural power. I am afraid that there are not 3 in Vietnam. Even in Shigua, it is at the level of Tianjiao. Wu Li smiled on his face, but sneered in his heart. If Jian Wushuang really broke out, there would be no more than 10 of Jian Wushuang's opponents. This is still regarded as the female emperor and those strong in the 4 tribulations realm. He also calculated according to his own strength. Wu Li's combat strength was in the hall and could be ranked in the top 10. He believed that Jian Wushuang's strength was not weaker for him, and he could naturally also be ranked in the top 10. Jian Wushuang's divine power exploded, directly suppressing everyone in the cave. Now even if they didn't contain them, they couldn't move under the influence of gravity. Everyone, you are offended. Jian Wushuang only flicked with one hand and directly shook all the emperors out of 10,000 battles. Being able to shake these people back under such gravitational conditions, they have no chance. Jiang Tianyang is even more clear, the current gravity, without 100,000 times the magical power, can't move the body at all, they are just the fish on the board. Can only be slaughtered by Jian Wushuang. Instead of this, it is better to take the initiative to withdraw. Jian Wushuang, you have such a combat power. I admire Tianyang and I am willing to quit. After Jiang Tianyang finished speaking, he voluntarily gave up and was directly moved out. The others only hesitated for a moment, and then took the initiative to withdraw. Within a quarter of an hour, Jian Wushuang was left in the cave. I'm also fascinated. Jian Wushuang leaked a smile. Compared with these emperors, it's just a little trouble. The divine power of more than 90,000 is almost comparable to some newly promoted tribulation realm. If it is in the Temple of Chishan, it is definitely the pinnacle of existence. But compared with Vietnam, it is still a bit worse. Even the original Maruor time and space, I am afraid it can be comparable to a continent in Guu time and space. In the ancient moon time and space, there are 9 heavens and 10 earths. 10 great ancient land, 9 great heavens. It can be compared to one of them, and it is not bad. This is one of the 9 longest rivers of time and space in the starry sky. After everyone took the initiative to retreat, Jian Wushuang became the only candidate. The female emperor naturally took Dong Tian and released Jian Wushuang. Mu Wang, take him into the palace later, I will leave first. The empress came here mainly for this. Now that it is over, she is also very satisfied with Jian Wushuang, so she got up and took the reluctant eldest princess Jin Chen with her. Left. Everyone again respectfully bid farewell. It was not until the empress left that the sense of oppression was lost in the hall. Mu Chen directly beckoned Jian Wushuang to come and sit up. Jian Wushuang also obediently approached Wu Li and greeted Elder Mu Chen with a fist. The banquet will end later, and I will rest in the mansion with Brother Wu Li for a while. I still have something to ask you. Elder Mu Chen said indifferently. He had to confirm Jian Wushuang's identity and strength again. This was naturally not a problem, and Wu Li directly agreed without waiting for Jian Wushuang to speak. Jian Wushuang also sat down beside Wu Li. The banquet was held next. During the banquet, the affairs of the holy meeting made everyone particularly active. If it was in the past, it has not been so lively. After all, some of the 3 tribulation realm powerhouses here, many have participated in the holy meeting. To be able to participate in the holy meeting, the weakest needs to be the Lord of the universe in the 3 tribulations realm. As for the emperor, he didn't have much demand, anyway. He got some secrets from the ancient wood school to pave the way for the foundation of the robbery in the future. But this time it's a little different. Shunmu King was born. The Gumu school must have had a big move. Only this time, I don't know why the Shunmu king appeared. Therefore, it is best to give some extra places to the robbery. Jian Wushuang was listening, a little worried in his heart. At this time, Wu Li said, "Don't worry, at least 30% of the 20 quotas in the Yu country will be given to the emperor." Now we are one step away. Enters the palace to see what the royal family is doing. Once you join the royal family, the quota is not a problem. Will there be resistance to the appearance of King Shunmu? You just arrived in ancient wood continent. You may not know that King Shunmu failed to reach the top of the 8 tribulations realm at the peak. It was just the most common 8 tribulations realm. Later it turned into scattered tribulation. After the dojo was destroyed, he was gone. The battle power of the tribulation realm has lingered until now. It's not bad to be able to maintain the 8 tribulations realm for half a step. The treasure in the Wanliu Shunmu is even more eager than we are, and we really want to open Wanliu by the 2 of us. Not only will he not stop it, I am afraid I will beg us to go in and help him find a treasure to restore his life. These things, Wu Li heard from the concubine, and 80% of them are true. Wanliu Shunmu, that is the core of ancient wood continent. The ancient wood school was established after the goddess fell behind, but Wanliu survived in the goddess era. This one cannot be compared at all. Even the Jiu Mu sect wanted to enter the 10,000 Willows divine wood, but every time they could only travel around the periphery, they couldn't enter the deepest core at all. If you want a big chance, you still have to go to the deepest place. After Jian Wushuang heard this, his heart was very bright. Vitality. The master of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm can naturally give birth to a steady stream of vitality, but the load of the scattering tribulation realm is too large, and the vitality consumed by one shot may require countless epochs to sleep. Shunmu King, a strong man who pioneered the ancient wood school, could not be maintained. This made him think of extinction, whether extinction is also a dispersing tribulation realm. Being able to kill Dong Jun at the beginning, at least surpassed the 7 tribulations realm. After the divine destruction, Miexing entered Moruo's time and space, and only half of the battle power of the 7 tribulations realm remained. After reaching the long river of time and space of the primitive universe, Miexing's strength could only maintain the level of the 6 tribulations realm. Chapter 5681. Before he left, Miexing had turned into the Temple of Mishi. If there is really no worries about Miexing, why should I enter the Temple of Mishi? Why not go directly to the Temple of Chishan? I am afraid he also has some kind of flaw. Is like real spirit. The true spirit has a sea of origin, which can keep alive all the time, plus he helps the true spirit restore the body of the when he leaves. Just the vitality of the flesh took him a long time. If he is really an expert in the 7 tribulations realm, he will probably spend countless epochs. That is not comparable to a 6 tribulations realm. An 8 tribulations realm with a severe loss of life. Jian Wushuang was speechless. For a while, in a trance, it was time for the banquet to disperse. It's very midnight. Looked up, the stars in the sky were shining brightly. These bright lights that can be seen with the naked eye are not stars, but universes. Each universe represents a cosmic master of the 3 tribulations realm. In this starry sky, Jian Wushuang saw several dazzling universes, which were extremely huge. Should be some universe of 7 tribulations realm. As for the master of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm, GUU time and space should still exist, but they couldn't see it at all. Those old guys are able to collect the universe into the body, or hide in the turbulence of time and space. Outsiders can't find it at all. Wu Li and Jian Wushuang panted their hands, standing in another courtyard of the Muangfu, waiting for Mu Chen. Brother Wushuang, are you thinking about something? Wu Li looked at Jian Wushuang and stared at the sky in a daze. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, "It's nothing, just thinking, if these universes are formed, will they become the shackles of the tribulation realm? Haha, my brother has a lot of thoughts, but there are also some truths. The universe was born above the ancient wood continent and cannot be moved unless it becomes the 8 tribulations realm." Wu Li also raised his head and looked at the starry sky, and he could see his universe at a glance. Then he said, "I thought about it before, But now that it is true, how can there be such a great ambition to reach the 5 tribulations realm in my life? I will be satisfied. Yes. The stronger the strength, the more clearly he can see his future. Wu Li, a half-step 4 tribulations realm of the universe, is actually quite good to be able to break through the 4 tribulations realm. Since he mastered the universe, Wu Li has deposited countless epochs, and it hasn't been long before the next triumph. Now his strength and background, there is nothing to worry about. But after becoming the 4 tribulations, he should be anxious. In fact, with his current combat power, he can cross the tribulation earlier, mainly because once he successfully crosses the tribulation, when he reaches the 4th tribulation realm, he has no certainty to cross the 5th tribulation. Instead of breaking through early, it is better to accumulate the foundation first. At least when he encounters the 5th calamity realm, he goes to the 4th calamity. Many peaks of the 3 tribulations realm think so. But in the end, the forced crossing of the tribulation has become the 4 tribulation realm. There is no chance in front of him, and I can only wait anxiously. In the end, he is depressed and specializes in sand tribulation. Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart. He was nothing. Mastering the universe will not be in GUU time and space, but will condense the universe in one's own body. This is the benefit of Jidao. Will not be bound by this world. But it was not so easy for the other people who came to GUU time and space with him. After becoming the tribulation realm, there is a high probability that it will take root in the ancient moon time and space. Even if it returns to the time and space of the primitive universe, it will eventually return to the ancient moon time and space. Is rooted, it is the person of GUU time and space. Jian Wushuang shook his head, not thinking about it anymore. At the moment, getting the quota first is the key, and there is not much time left for them. The holy meeting is 10 years later. This is the news that Wu Li just got. Squeak. The door of the small courtyard was pushed open, and the person here was Elder Mu Chen. It's just that the current Elder Mu Chen changed his spirit in the hall, but he was a little late. Brother Muchen. Elder Mu Chen. The two hurried forward to greet. Elder Muchen waved his hand and said casually, "There are no outsiders here, don't have to see outside, sit down and talk." The 3 people were sitting in a pavilion. Wu Li was also very winking. He took out a teapot and poured a cup for Mu Chen and Jian Wushuang. Ahem. Elder Mu Chen was also polite, and took a sip from his teacup. Jian Wushuang and Wu Li were waiting for Elder Mu Chen to speak. I drank the tea, and everyone was there. Elder Muchen shook his sleeves and went straight to the subject. Since I'm all my own, I won't hide it from the 2 of you. This time I'm really helpless in recruiting my son-in-law. Next, under the narration of Elder Mu Chen, Jian Wushuang and Wu Li were amazed. It turned out that the eldest Princess Jin Chen lived with her grandfather in Shigua since she was a child, and she returned to Yu country after she became an immortal fairy. In the ordinary time, he had a baby kiss with a Shi Guoshenjiao. But with the rise of the Empress, the future emperor is likely to belong to Princess Jin Chen, and the marriage was also stranded. If it were to be that simple, there would not be so many bad times in the future. The Shigua Tianjiao is not an ordinary person, but a child of the Shuang clan. Although he is not a direct child, where is the background? The son of the king of Shi is in the family. If this matter spreads out, where will Shiguo's face be placed? But these 2 are not giving up. The Tianjiao even chased the country from Shigua to the country of Yu, and is now in the palace. And the other party also released ruthless words, "It's okay to divorce. But I have to give him an explanation, unless the emperor who married the eldest princess can defeat him, otherwise he will not agree to this marriage." Jian Wushuang frowned when he heard this, and said, "He is very persistent. It's a pity that the Yu kings beat the Mandarin ducks. Whether it is for the face of Shiguo or for the imperial power of the Yu royal family, it is impossible for the eldest princess to marry each other. Helplessly, the 2 are also childhood sweethearts, and it is not so easy to force them apart. Ukanshu. CMISNT it. Elder Mu Chen shook his head and said, "This is also to blame for your majesty today. She had to send that little girl to Shiguo for training. Now she is so big, but she doesn't understand the royal family's effort." A son of the Stone King family, and a direct son of the Yu King family. I really need to talk about background and strength, but in fact, the two are very close. But if it's a superfluous, it won't work. Yu Kingdom is afraid of introducing wolves into the house, Shi Kingdom is afraid of embarrassment. The latter is okay and can be overcome. The former is absolutely impossible. No matter what, the children of the Stone King clan cannot be admitted. This is a major event threatening imperial power. Elder, there is something I need to do, just say it. Jian Wushuang probably understood what the other party meant. Wu Li also stared at Mu Chen. In fact, the matter is very simple. Just defeat the Shi Guoshenjiao and let the other party give up. Wu Li was overjoyed when he heard this. This is too simple. But where did Mu Chen know the true strength of Jian Wushuang? He is still very worried now, but he can't say anything about attacking Jian Wushuang. https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 5682. The Tianjiao of Shi Kingdom, named Shiju, is very strong. Mu Chen worried. Jian Wushuang frowned slightly, so that Elder Mu Chen could say that he was strong, and that really required him to take it seriously. But Wu Li is more confident than Jian Wushuang. He patted his chest and said, "Brother Mu Chen, don't worry, since I'm all myself, I'll just say it. My nephew can't get along in Outland, but he definitely has the strength of. You too, have you ever heard of the fifth master of the Shi family?" Mu Chen didn't answer Wu Li's words, but spoke of a prominent figure in the Yu country. Wu Li heard it, pondered for a moment, and then surprised, "You mean Shuxiu of the Stone Royal family?" "Yes, it's him." Mu Chen nodded and said, "That Shi Guotianjiao is his grandson." Wu Li also frowned this time and said, "His grandson? Why haven't I heard of it? I also just learned that he has an illegitimate child, and that illegitimate child is Shijia's father. This matter is rarely known to me, and a friend of mine told me." Mu Chen shook his head and sighed. If it wasn't for the royal family who needed to recruit his son-in-law, he would really like that Shi Guotianjiao. That is Shuxiu's grandson. Ishihide is a real figure in Shigua, and the backbone of the contemporary Stone King family. The reason why the Stone Kingdom was able to overpower the 16 kingdoms in this era, even comparable to the 8-star sect of the ancient Wood School, is that there is such a ZTE figure. Half-step the master of the universe in the Seven Tribulations realm. In the future, Gumu continent has the most hope to be promoted to the master of the universe of Seven Tribulations. Seeing Wu Li's expression, Elder Mu Chen picked up the teacup and took a sip, thinking it was frightening Wu Li. The news really scared Wu Li, and he directly transmitted the sound to Jian Wushuang in private. "I will go to the palace later, do something sharp, his background is too big, we can't afford to offend it." If this is heard by Elder Mu Chen, I'm afraid he will drop his jaw. That is Shuxiu's grandson. Although Shuxiu has many grandchildren, he still has the blood of Shuxiu, a half-step Seven Tribulations realm powerhouse, so how weak can it be? Jian Wushuang thought Wu Li was too dear to him. Under normal circumstances, he does not use the power of the beast god, and he may be hanged by the opponent. The true supernatural power of the eldest princess, he has learned, has a supernatural power of 130,000. Shi Guotianjiao, who made the eldest princess so desperate, the other party's divine power, I am afraid it will be around 150,000. He used twice the power of the beast to be able to crush the opponent. To defeat, you need 3 times the power of the beast god. In the Temple of Chishan, the only person who can allow him to display so much power is probably only the robbery. An emperor is so strong. Yu country does not allow such a powerful emperor. How about it, are you sure? Elder Mu Chen said straight away, "Jian Wushuang, you can tell me whether the 130,000 supernatural power can reach it." Jian Wushuang also understood Mu Chen's thoughts, and immediately got up. The power of the beast on his body immediately exploded. His basic divine power has changed from white arrogance to dark red, and his divine power has soared from less than 100,000 to 130,000. Exercising the power of the beast god, now he can make his divine power reach 130,000. 2 times is 160,000. The triple limit can reach 200,000. Is also the peak of his current normalcy. If you use the power of the starry sky to perform eternal transformation, then it is not divine power that can be converted. After all, he is a time-space practitioner, and now he has been recognized by time. If the eternal change is carried out, it will arouse suspicion by outsiders. It's better not to display it, or not to display it. The pinnacle of his supernatural power is enough for the emperor. The peak reaches the peak of the three tribulations realm with regular combat power. In the entire GUU time and space, the great priest Wu Li said had the power of the Lord of the three tribulations realm universe. As long as his luck is not too bad, he will not meet such a perverted emperor. After feeling that Jian Wushuang's supernatural power exceeded 130,000, Mu Chen nodded in satisfaction, not too surprised. It must be a bit of strength for Wu Li to take out such a valuable treasure, otherwise the treasure would be given away for nothing. My nephew, I can rest assured that you have this strength, but there are some things I said before. Now I have prepared 3 people in the palace. These 3 have nothing to do with Jin Chen regardless of whether they win or lose. You can rest assured, but I am right. The 3 of them don't have much confidence, and the main thing is to look at you. Mu Chen gave them a clear picture this time. Wu Li chuckled and said, "They are all my own nephews, we will be in-laws soon." Things were set, and the 3 of them didn't stay longer, and left the Muangfu directly to the palace. Yu Kingdom, Imperial Palace. Is up to the top of Yunding in the royal city. Ordinary people can't see the appearance of the palace at all. Jian Wushuang also followed Mu Chen's lead to reach the front gate of the palace, otherwise he wouldn't even be able to find the gate. No wonder he didn't feel the powerhouse in the palace when he entered the royal city. Now that I get outside, I can feel a faint pressure. Great luck, Lord. The guards guarding the door are all experts in the robbery realm. What a style. Under the guidance of the guards, Jian Wushuang and others entered the palace. After entering, Jian Wushuang understood what the robbery realm force was. What you see here is the appearance of the time when Moro was at the peak of time and space. The Temple of Qi is said to be the Maruo time and space in the ancient times of the Inheritor, but it is still far behind compared to here. East Palace, Prince's Mansion. Snapped. Dongsheng Hall. The eldest Princess Jin Chen regained his original appearance, and it was the young girl Jian Wushuang saw. At this time, the eldest princess, in front of the Empress, smashed the Optimus Prime in the hall with a palm. I won't marry anyone except him. Princess Jinchen's temper came up, and no one could stop it. The female Emperor Feng Chen frowned, stared at Jin Chen, and exclaimed, "You won't marry? If you don't marry, even if I sit on the throne, I won't marry." The figure of the Empress came to Princess Jin Chen instantly, and she slapped her hand because the words just touched her bottom line. The sound is very crisp. Princess Jin Chen was stunned. She raised her head and stared at the eyes that were very similar to the Empress Feng Chen. They were very watery and still filled with tears. "You hit me." Jin Chen couldn't believe it. Her mother, although she is very cold to the outside world, she has never been like this to her. Empress Feng Chen coldly shouted, "Aren't you sitting on the throne?" She wanted to laugh out loud. Yu Kingdom's throne, I don't know how many people are staring at it. As long as he sits on the throne, the royal family will tilt resources. Now the potential of the princess will soon be able to reach the three tribulations realm and master the universe. In the later stage, countless resources are needed. This resource is only produced by the royal family in the Yu country. Even if it is produced, it depends on the person. Becoming the emperor of the Yu kingdom naturally has that qualification. https://mobile version reading URL. Chapter 5683, Became the Female Emperor, which means that you can become a powerful person in the 4 tribulation realm from the start. Sit 4 and look at 5. This is a dream that many people can't ask for. Why doesn't she understand it? In this world, how can there be so many emotions? Once the strength can't keep up with the other party, it will be cast aside. This is the eternal truth. When the time comes, one party will become Sanjia, and the other party will be the energetic master of the universe, and it will be too late to regret. Looking at his mother's cold eyes, Jin Chen didn't dare to talk back. This matter is beyond your control, but I can also give you a guarantee that after you achieve the throne and become the Four Tribulations realm, I will no longer care about you. These words gave Jin Chen a hope and an excuse. Jin Chen is also very smart, and soon understood his mother's intentions. She can marry someone she doesn't like, and of course she can also have a different room. Even after becoming the Four Tribulations realm, she can still go to her brother Shiju. But even so, she was still a little reluctant. When will it wait? She is now an emperor, and there is still a way to go before the Tribulation realm. After breaking through the Tribulation realm, it can quickly become the Three Tribulation realm, but the Four Tribulation realm is not so easy. Brother Shiju, can you wait for me? Jin Chen muttered silently in his heart. At this time, Jian Wushuang and the others just arrived outside the hall, and saw two other people waiting here. These two are the old and the young. The strength of the old man Jian Wushuang couldn't see through it. It should be stronger than Wu Li, but it's not that strong. There is little vitality. It should not be the lord of the universe, but the realm of dispersal. The young man standing next to him is bold and strong, his face is determined, his hair is tied and his crown is meticulous. It seems that this person is that Shiguo Tianjiao, Shiju Lai. Just when the three of them stood firm, another three arrived. Are all emperors? It should be the three emperors arranged by Elder Mu Chen. Are all the god-defying emperors from other countries? This kind of thing can actually be solved with a little money. It's just that the royal family is not too exaggerated because of its face. As for those in Vietnam, they were all dissuaded from leaving. There are also more than 100,000 times, but the difference in strength is too much. Calculated like this time the four people who challenged Shiguo Tianjiao, each of them are from Vietnam, and it is ironic enough to say it. Fortunately, Wu Li had the foresight, and he arranged Jian Wushuang to appear in the Azure Cloud sect early, and he was under the door of Elder Mu Chen. Now he is considered a Vietnamese. Prince Mu. The three emperors were very polite when they saw Elder Mu Chen. After all, Elder Mu Chen invited him. It's just that there are outsiders at this time. Mu Chen didn't say much, just nodded lightly. The three of them glanced at Jian Wushuang first, and did not notice anything surprising, so they ignored it, but looked at Shiju himself. This is the enemy. Your Majesty, summon everyone, come with me. After a while, a feminine old man with a black robe and top hat walked out of the hall and summoned everyone to enter. After entering the Dongsheng Palace, he saw the Empress, but did not see the figure of Princess Jin Chen. At this time, Princess Jin Chen stood behind the screen and could clearly see the scene in the hall, but everyone in the hall could not feel the presence of the princess. Shiju looked around, but he didn't find his sweetheart, a little uneasy. He was not afraid of the emperors of the Yu Kingdom, but he was afraid that Jin Chen would be threatened by others. Weak thought power came. Shiju received Jin Chen's voice transmission, his breath stabilized, and at the same time, he silently read the voice transmission in his heart. Don't worry, I won't let you wait. Princess Jin Chen didn't want Shiju to spell out her own thoughts. As long as she reached the Four Tribulations realm, no one could stop her, but Shiju was very confident. Among the emperors, he was not afraid of anyone. In Shiguo, there are still a few talents who can threaten him, but in Yuguo, the emperor is invincible. This is not madness, but fact. If it weren't for Jian Wushuang's sudden arrival, even if you turned Yuguo over again, you wouldn't be able to find an emperor who could rival Shiju. Stone family boy, don't say that the more I am not tolerate you. If you defeat my Yuguo Tianjiao today, I won't worry about the two of you. The Empress said directly. Elder Muchen had already told all about Jian Wushuang. At this time, the Empress also had some confidence. Your Majesty, said Joding, Shiju is willing to fight. Shiju stepped out and stood in the center of the hall, his eyes sharpened. Who will come first? He looked at the four of them, and his breath kept rising. Jian Wushuang was about to step forward, but was stopped by Wu Li. Let those three go first. Mu Chen has already paid for it, so I can't make them so easy. Wu Li Chuanyin said. Muchen also meant this, and wanted these three to go and try each other's details. The strength of the three of them is similar. They came here to do this. They didn't hesitate, and they walked out one person at the moment. I learned it. The man was dressed in rugged armor, his voice just fell, and the same breath broke out. The supernatural power soared directly to 130,000. Has reached the pinnacle of the one tribulation realm. Shiju looked sideways. He had never heard of the person in front of him, but he was not a mediocre person who could explode with a power of 130,000. He also exploded with a supernatural power of 130,000. Jian Wushuang stared at the two of them, as he could feel that Shiju did not exert all his strength, but the emperor who was recruited by Elder Mu Chen had already reached the peak. And the vitality of this emperor is a bit weak for some reason. Should be much older than these people. Princess Jin Chen, and the Tianjiao named Shiju, should have been born in less than 1,000 years. 1,000 era, in Guyue time and space, that was quite a short period of time, especially for those in the tribulation realm. Is a time of retreat. In the long river of ancient time and space, such as Guu time and space, the long time is calculated by the era. For example, the age of the gods at the peak of the ancient wood continent www.mtlnovel.com the flame gods in the stone country, the top 8 tribulations realm, are famous throughout the ancient moon time and space. The characters who can create an era are generally the masters of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm. The age of the flame has not long passed. The peak of the current era has not yet come, and everyone has a chance. Let's do it. Shiju stretched out a hand and waved it casually, and silver scales appeared on his body. The two of them are wrong, and they shoot each. Was just a face-to-face, and that Emperor Jiao Jun could feel the horror of Shiju, and if he was dealt face-to-face with the punch just now, he might be seriously injured. But he could feel that Shiju didn't show any more supernatural powers. It is clearly 130,000 supernatural powers. Why is the gap so big? Jian Wushuang was also amazed. This was the first time he had seen Guu time and space's Emperor Tianjiao fight against him. He found an amazing gap. In the case of the same rank and the same combat strength, experience is more important. Although Shiju raised his divine power to the same state as the opponent, he was still able to easily defeat his opponent. https://mobile version reading URL. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.